Hi Virgo, this is your family reading. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this will not resonate with every single Virgo out there. Alright, let's get started. So Virgo, let's see what's happening when it comes towards family. What my Virgos need to hear when it comes towards family. Ooh. Okay. We have the path and dance. Okay, Virgo. So for some of you guys, this is kind of interesting. For some of you guys, perhaps something that your family has, so say for instance, if you were like a kid and say your dad was like a doctor or something, perhaps like that's the path that you thought that you wanted to go down. It was maybe like something a parent has, like a parent's job or somebody in your family, and maybe that is something that you would enjoy. For others of you, actually, it could just be dancing. But what I'm also kind of getting here was whatever experiences that you have found yourself in, Virgo, with your family, it has led you down a path that actually might have a lot of abundance or have a lot of prosperity. It seems like for some of my Virgos, you guys could have dealt with maybe even family members that were supportive, or even you could have been with horrible family members that taught you how not to be, in a way. And so for some of you guys are making your way to the right, like it almost feels like the path that's right for you. And I almost get the feeling as well that a lot of you guys have even contemplated on what exactly your path is for a long time. And I think for some of you guys, you're now coming to that conclusion of what path you really want to go down. So we have here the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the 7 of Cups. Ooh. That's... Yeah, okay. The King of Cups, the 4 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, the Princess of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Okay. So, okay, this is kind of making a lot more sense to me now, especially when we have path and dance. So for some of you guys, you could have had family members that were trying, like say for instance, if your parents wanted you to be like a lawyer or a doctor, or your parents wanted you to be specific things growing up, that maybe you guys thought, like for some of you guys, you did choose that path and then you regretted it later on. But for others of you guys, you never wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever it is that they wanted you to be. And for some of you guys, you regret taking and choosing that path. And for others of you, it's almost like you were so glad you didn't. I'm also feel like I'm dealing with a Virgo right now who might have tuned in, who could be kind of in high school, maybe like going into college. It's like right at that age to where you have to generally decide what career path, and you could have a father or a mother. It almost feels kind of like it's both almost. It's almost like you could have had even a parent tell you, hey, I will pay or help you pay this college debt off if you choose this career, or I will do this and that for you. It's almost like this parent's trying to really nudge somebody, one of my Virgos, in a direction that they might not be really happy choosing. And you almost feel intimidated to say no to your parents or to somebody, because it almost feels like this person is trying to choose the right path for you. And they're doing it because they think that it's going to be beneficial for you. But this connection, this relationship, this whoever this parent figure is, this person is kind of being a little unfair. They could withhold money, can withhold information or anything like that to my Virgos, because what's happening is they're hoping that you're gonna, like, they want to pick the direction that you want to go in life. They want to be able to be in charge of it and to control that. And it's out of fear of you not being codependent on them anymore. They almost kind of seem that if you choose a path, it's almost like it's either going to be the wrong path, but it's mostly just due to the fact that they want to have still some sight of control in your life. You could be dealing with somebody who's a little bit of a control freak, or somebody who's a little bit, that is kind of likes to think that they know best for every situation. It just feels like this is who my Virgos are dealing with. And I just keep picking up, like, and it's so weird, is it almost feels like there's one specific person that I'm just really picking up on right now. I don't know why. It just really feels like whoever you are, that if this, like, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like I'm picking up on somebody who feels, and it feels like, it feels almost as though you're feeling suffocated by this parent. You're feeling you're afraid to rock the boat with this person because you're afraid of upsetting this person's feelings. And it almost feels like as though, too, you guys feel really scared to be, like, okay. Mostly because a part of you thinks you know what you want to do for a living, but people around you might tell you that it's impossible, or that, like, you're gonna be like a starving artist, like it's not rational or reasonable. And it's like you're hearing this from other people, and it's like, be more practical with your decision when it comes to college or when it comes to a career. And for some of you guys, it might even be something like just a spiritual thing too. But there's something here where it's like whatever decision that you're trying to make, it feels as though these other people around you are trying to control your path. They're trying to control your future because, and I keep hearing the line, I know what's best for you. You have people that tell you what's good for you and what's not good for you. And for some of you guys, you might not even ask people's opinions, and people just still give it to you anyway. But I did have a sense that a lot of these Virgos that I'm picking up on is your whole life you've asked opinions from family members and other people because you're always so afraid of your own, you're so afraid of the decisions that you might make. And because of that, it's caused some of you guys to kind of feel, though, as if you're not capable of really making your decision. I just keep feeling like some of my Virgos have dealt with, especially a mother figure that's extremely controlling. I just keep feeling it's more of a mother figure than even a father figure. But I almost feel like even the father figure, like, as I feel like for some of you guys, it's both parents that's trying to convince you to choose a specific path. But you know deep down that that path isn't really going to make you happy. So it's almost like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you don't want to upset them. You don't want them to withdraw money or resources, or you don't want conflict with family members. You just don't want to upset anyone, but at the same time, it's almost as though these people, it's not that they don't love you or care for you, but it's like it's coming from a sense of lack in their life, which is why I think that they're trying to control you in the first place. And, in their eyes, they're like, oh, this career choice that I want for you is a lot more stable, is a lot more, you'd make a lot more money in the long run, you'll be a lot happier. But are you really? It almost seems, though, that you're dealing with somebody who, they act as though they have all the answers, or they just seem so sure of themselves that some of you guys might even think, especially when it's a parent, you're always taught growing up to listen to your parents and trust your parents. And it's almost an innate feeling to trust our parents because they're the reasons we kind of exist in a way. Plus, it's like we all want to have trust in those we care about. It's just an innate need that we all have deep down. But it's like there's something here that you're wanting to drop or let go of, Virgo, because I'm sensing so much stress. It feels like there's too many decisions that needs to be made, and feeling like you can't choose the right decision, that you can't make everybody happy, because it's either they are happy with the decision you make or you're not happy with the decision. And that kind of leaves it in a tough spot, because it's like you probably want to make others happy, but at the same time, deep down that what they want for you is not what's ultimately going to bring you happiness. And it's having to just like kind of accept that too. And that's kind of a hard situation. It feels like dragging your feet a lot too. But there's like deep down emotionally, you know what you want. But a lot of people just tell you it could be unrealistic, or just nobody wants to really support you. And like afraid of hurting their feelings, but knowing that not choosing the path that they want for you is what's ultimately going to free you from feeling alone or isolated. Because it's like when you learn to love and accept yourself, or when you learn to be authentic with yourself, not only will that benefit yourself, but it will actually benefit other people in the long run. I feel like a lot of my Virgos are so afraid of upsetting others, or so afraid of upsetting a specific family member, and I keep feeling a mom that just keeps impeding in your life. But don't plant the seeds that you don't want in your life. If you don't want a career, that's just going to stagnate you. That's just going to make you feel resentful. And it's like, it's not going to bring you ultimate happiness. When you learn to stop and be like, I'm not going to water this plant. I don't want to care for this because this is not meant for me. This is not my path. Then you're going to find that moment of relief. And you're going to find that piece of you that a part of my Virgos feel like they're kind of missing. And for some of you guys, it's kind of that initial spark, that initial thing that drives you. And for some of you guys, I keep feeling like, yeah, maybe dancing is actually literal. Like, you really do want to do dancing for a living. Like, maybe have your own dance studio, or you just enjoy it and you want to be a backup dancer. Like, there's just something that some of my Virgos want to do that other people might scoff at, or others might look past it and see it as not a real career, not a real responsible job. But the things that people are trying to tie you down to is not something that you're really looking at. It's not something that's really meant for you. I'm also feeling that a lot of the Virgos that I'm tuned into have really odd and unique paths that bring them happiness, that brings them joy, and other people just cannot understand it. And it's not that they don't care, or not that they don't, it's really interesting, because you might be dealing with a parent that just really can't understand your path, because it's so vastly different than tradition. And you're wanting to break out of those norms and going within. It's like you're finding ways that you want even your house to look, even the way you want, like where you want to live, where you want to go might even surprise some of your family members. And maybe even the type of people you like to spend your time with might even surprise these people because it's so out of the ordinary. Some of you guys might have like a Aquarius moon or something, but you just seem to get along really well with most people, and you seem to get along with people that seem to have a uniqueness about them that most people would either be drawn away from, like repelled by, or just don't know how to handle. And for some of you guys, there's so many decisions, there's so many ways to go about even the career that you want to pursue that it might be hard for you. But not only that, but just feeling the stress of my dad wants me to do that, my mom wants me to do this, or my husband wants me to do that, or, I've had friends and family, like just different people doing a tug of war kind of feeling, to which you feel as though no matter what you choose, no one's going to be happy in the end. And that's also something to kind of think about too. You can't really appease other people. You can't really make other people happy. You can try your entire life and never, ever make that person happy. Even if they say they want this, they won't really be happy deep down because they themselves just are miserable. And so when you learn to understand too that it's okay to disappoint people. If you follow the path that you think is right for you, then in the long run, it's not only good for you, but it's also good for them, because what is meant for you, Virgo, what is your highest path, will be beneficial for all those involved. So just remember that when you have this hard decision or any other decisions that come up in your life and it's questioning your authenticity. Because what's happening is, for some of you guys, there's a lot of guilt I'm feeling. There's so much guilt coming down when it comes to making a decision. There's a lot of guilt, shame, and there's a sense of shyness and wanting to recluse yourself, wanting to put a wall up more. There's also a piece of you that feels depressed because you feel like you know what you want, but you might convince yourself as well that it's unrealistic, or that that no matter what happens, no matter what you do, you're probably always going to upset somebody else. And I'm sensing for some of you guys, you really have a hard time upsetting other people. You might say yes all the time when you really should be saying no, kind of like that. Because what's happening here is your foundation feels really unstable, because some of you, I'm just sensing like you're just new coming into career and business. I'm sensing between like 18 all the way up to like 30. It's kind of like that age group where you're still really figuring things out and you're transitioning still through like the world. And for some of you guys, you might never ask much for help. You might not like to ask other people for help. And it's out of the shame and guilt of feeling like if you were to ask other people for opinions or for advice or for help, then you might be a burden on other people. And it's having to kind of learn to balance out that guilt, but that also that some of that resentment, because for some of you guys, you might even have resentment feeling like you can't ask for help, because maybe when you have in the past, other people have hurt you or put you down. And there's there's still some of that hesitancy and some of that resentfulness coming up. And not only that, but feeling like you can't manifest what you really want because you're so afraid of the conflict. So if you feel like if you don't put out your true power, put out your true emperor, your true self, then it's just going to cause conflict. And you know that sitting here and not making a decision is not going to help you guys. But you know that deep down you have to break free and water the plants that you really want to water, tend to the things you really want that actually is going to bring you fulfillment. But the problem is, at the same time, is it goes back to that family member who chose and wanted to choose a decision for you specifically, and that person's not listening to their intuition when they have an idea of, oh no, I want you to be a lawyer, or I want you to be this or that. They're not using their intuition. They're using the side of them that's logic. They haven't thought things through all the way to what it would be like for you, and they see the world in a whole different way than even you might. So don't take that person's advice and think that you have to take it in order to be loved, because for some of you guys, maybe even going against this person's advice might even cause a lot of issues, and a lot of, I'm also getting silent treatment, or just putting up a wall between the two of you, because I feel like you're dealing with a person who's a little immature, who might also have just a skewed way of looking at the world, and they do so because they have a feeling, like, because they have to feel in control of their environment, because they feel so out of control within themselves. And knowing that it's okay to choose what you want to do without feeling guilty, or without feeling the need to harm yourself. Because I'm sensing for with this Ten of Swords, I've never really got this before, but it almost feels like you're needing to learn to not hurt yourself when you hurt other people. It's almost like you take it personally when someone's upset with you. You take it as though you're the problem, that that person's hurt and upset, when really in reality that person's upset and hurt because of something else that has occurred in their past that has brought something up in that similar situation. So say for instance, if they feel like you rejected them, it's not that you actually rejected them, but they might feel that because maybe growing up their parent rejected them. It's like if they're upset or hurt, generally the chances of that being a wound that was already there is pretty high. So it's not your fault when other people are upset. Now, of course, if you do physical harm to this person, or you do some things that that is really like gonna hurt a person, because it would hurt anybody, then obviously then that's just rude, and you know what I mean. But like, if you're being honest and authentic with yourself, and you're telling this person, hey, I don't want to be upset about this anymore, I've been beating myself up over and over again. And here we have the Ten of Swords again in that reverse. It's like needing to learn to not beat yourself up so many times with thoughts. I think some of my Virgos, you have a tendency of overthinking, and then when you do overthink, you start overthinking more and more, which then leads you to almost not a sense of self-hatred, but just a sense of beating your self-esteem down, beating down who you are, because you felt like you were the cause of X, Y, and Z to happen, when really in reality that's not the case. So having to learn to let yourself stop hurting yourself, know when to give up when it comes to other people. Because in this way, it's like when you think of the Nine of Wands, this is a person who has his wall up, who feels defeated because this person was badly injured, and now they're trying to protect themselves. Well, now when it's in the reverse, it's like, think about when you don't need to always stand up for yourself. I know this is really weird, because think about it like this. You don't have to demand respect in order for people to respect you. You don't have to defend yourself in order to prove that you're innocent. Sometimes people just have a tendency of blaming their feelings, their problems onto you, but really in reality, they're just projecting, and you needing to see it for really what it is. Because for this person, they might have a tendency of, they try to make you feel guilty for maybe the decisions that you make, because they sacrifice so much for you, and they just want what's best for you, and why are you breaking your mother's heart? Something like that, right? Like it feels like you're dealing with an individual that needs to feel important, that needs to feel like if they're hurting, then you have to be hurting. If you're happy and they're sad, then what's wrong with you? Like this person, whatever they're feeling at the moment, everybody else needs to acknowledge and accept that. And if they don't, this person has a huge problem. But you need to be true to yourself. you can't always appease other people. You can't always make other people around you happy, because no matter what, you're always going to have conflict in your life. Whether you're good, bad, it doesn't matter. You're going to always have some kind of opposing contradiction or some kind of person that wants you to do something different. And you're always going to be somebody's bad guy in their story. And that's okay. You're not always going to be the good guy in everybody's story. Everybody has to have they have to be the victim. Everybody needs to be that, right? So somebody has to be the bad guy, and it can't be them. It feels like that. So know that you are okay to make a decision, and know that it's all right if you don't have specific resources or certain things. If this person's willing to withhold money just because you choose a different career, then this person is holding conditional love. This person is not being authentic. This individual is not a healthy individual. If they are, say, especially a parent, and they won't help pay for college unless you do what they want, then you probably don't really want their money, because their money is also conditioned, and so is their love. And it's all right to take charge of your life. It's okay to worry about the future, but knowing that you will always be okay. Because if you choose the path that makes you happy, that brings you joy, things will always work out. You just have to believe in yourself. You just have to believe in that feeling that you have deep inside, that everything is going to be okay. Because for some of you guys, you might have had kind of a difficult childhood. You might have had just a little bit of a harsh upbringing. And for some of you guys, feeling like you have to choose career over family or decision over whatever, it's almost like this person gives you a lot of ultimatums, or this person tries to make you choose one way or the other, when life really isn't like that. So you're needing just to learn to take a step back and really just notice that it's okay to have these issues. It's okay for other people to not really see the real you, Virgo, because eventually they will. But at the beginning of this and making this decision, it seems like a very hard decision for my Virgos, just because it conflicts with other people that you care about around you, and they want you to do something that perhaps just really isn't meant for you. So here we have everything that just went this way. And for me, it almost felt like a blocked that my Virgos are going through. And it has here message. You're having a hard time, like I was saying, communicating with this person what you truly want, what will make you happy. And then here we have obedience. I think that you deal with a person that expects obedience, that expects you to do what they tell you to do. And here we have beauty, and it's in the blocked position. You're not showing your true beauty, Virgo. You're not showing your true worth because of this person wanting you to be obedient, wanting you to follow things. Don't color outside the lines. Be the good girl or good boy that I know you're supposed to be. Like, this person loves to have control, and this person loves to stir the pot, essentially, just likes to cause issues and problems. This person might even go around and say, what do you think about Virgo doing this as a career? You think she would be good at it? Obviously she would be good at it, right? Like, this person's really talking you up to be like, you need to do this or that in order to be seen or in order to be loved. And it's kind of sad because, again, with your emotions here, it's like a part of you wants to move forward, but you also really want to let go of all of these burdens that you are feeling, because you know deep down who you truly are. And you're coming out of the denial, you're coming out of the darkness of parts of you that you kept locked up inside, that not only is stable and also worthy and also able to create the dream that you're trying to manifest, But at the same time, you're denying that part of you because you're trying to nurture and cater other people, but you're not doing it for yourself because you're around people that are like martyrs. You're around people that, like, it's almost like you're stuck in the past of taking care of this individual when you're the one that's supposed to really be taking care of yourself, Virgos. So this is no joke. I shuffled and 2 cards of the chakra cards came out in the blocked position. You have insight in the blocked position, so the third eye, understanding, awakening, awareness, and self-evaluation, all in that blocked position. When you need to really see things for what they really are, because there's so much distracting you, Virgo, but it's distracting you from what's really true. There's only one true thing that you know that you really want, and it's time to go within and listen. Just cut out the noise around you. Cut out other people that are around you. Isolate yourself for a bit and think about it and see what really makes you happy. If you get a bad feeling about something, listen to that. If you get a good feeling, listen to this as well. Like, something about your emotions, something about deep down inside, there's something there that you're aware of. And we have here in the reverse, inspiration. Ideas spark conception and impulse. And that's in the reverse. It's like you're lacking inspiration, you're lacking that sense of really knowing yourself, really seeing and understanding who you truly are, Virgo. And you're needing to find that part of you that's creative again, that part of you that you can tap back into. And it's all in that crown chakra, right? If your third eye is blocked, your crown chakra isn't going to be very open either. So needing to learn to gather ideas and information. It's like things are coming down and they're using downloads for you, but you need to open yourself back up to receiving the messages and the divine, what it is that you need. And really what's happening too is a lot of you guys, this is a cycle when it comes, and again, this is the last one, and it's again in the blocked position when it came out. And I look at these things as important. The way that the cards land and how they land, to me, is extremely important. So we have relationships, intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. And you're in a situation where this person has a hard time being intimate. They have a hard time allowing you to be free. And it's like I'm sensing for a lot of you guys with this dance card, it's like wanting to just be free, wanting to have that freedom to move, flowing, and just, it's hard to dance in a cage. And for a lot of you guys, you have a hard time trusting yourself because you have a hard time trusting the relationships that are around you. And you need to have full acceptance of who you are and who this person is. Our job isn't to come here to try and control other people. Our job is to come here to control ourselves, to see where we want to go in life. So when other people try to control other people, it's out of sheer sense of feeling like they have no control over their own environment or themselves, and that freaks people out. So learning to understand why certain people do the behaviors that they do and realize that's their problem. I don't need to take that on as my problem. I need to do what's best for me because nobody else will. Nobody else can tell me what's good for me or what's bad for me. Only I can. And if you can take anything away from this reading, it's that other people can't tell you what's good for you or bad for you. Only you can. So follow and listen to your intuition. Trust yourselves, Virgo. You know exactly which path and decision you have to pick and take. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about all the other options. You know deep down what you really want, what path is meant for you. Choose it. Trust yourself. I promise you, you will not regret it. The longer you go down this path, the first little while it's going to be hard, but the more you allow yourself to let the path unfold in front of you, the easier it's going to get for you and the more rewarding it will become. So that's what I have for my Virgos. I hope that this resonates for you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great and wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.